Okay, guys, I'm gonna talk to you very strong and very clear today regarding this particular matter of college. I see a lot of people. I'm very interested in this Bernie Sanders situation. Um, I see a lot of people that are feeling entitled to college, among other things, but we're gonna talk about college, and that makes me feel slightly uncomfortable because so far no one have come up with a solution to fix the which is not a problem, by the way, the college debt, student debt and all that. That is not passing on that debt onto the people that did not acquire that debt in the first place. And I think that is unfair because then you are unloading that debt onto people that in theory have less earning potential than the ones that acquire the debt. And that is wrong. If I buy a car, I cannot send you the bill. Are we clear on that? I hope we are. If I buy a house, I cannot send you the bill. I hope we're clear on that. You are not entitled to go to college. You are not entitled to anything. How crazy is that? How radical is that? You're not entitled to anything, let alone college. What if we go back to reality? If you have the money, you can have it. If you don't have the money, then you cannot have it. In your particular idea, let's say that you are one of those persons that are interested in going to college. You have two options. College always have been, and it has to be, for the greatest of the greatest. The smartest ones. That's what college is for. It's not for everybody. There is no point in everybody going to college, because then the value of having a college degree goes down, like to zero. And then there is not enough positions available to fill up with all these graduates, because there is not enough entrepreneurs creating businesses that later on employ people, because you're too busy going to college and getting deep in debt. And that is no good. So I want to make this clear. You are not entitled to go to college. Once again, if you want to go to college, you have two options. You either have the money and you can pay for it, which in natural state, the most intelligent ones tend to recoup the most resources, and therefore they can afford college for their kids. Or maybe you're poor, and that's cool, but you are extremely intelligent, and then you get a full ride, you see, on some private money, but not on public money, not on my money. You see? How about that? If you think that you are very intelligent and you don't have the money to go to college and you are not getting a full ride, that means two things. Number one, you're not that intelligent, because there are other people more intelligent than you, more qualified than you, that their worth is superior to yours. Therefore, they are going to get the full right to the college situation. Number two, when you are intelligent and you have what it takes, the only way that you can provide value in the free market is not going to college. You see? You can provide value in so many ways and do so many things. You can make it without going to college. There is no rule that says that everybody have to go to college. There is no rule that says that I or you are entitled to my money, so you can go to college. Just saying. Now, in my particular situation, you have seen my later videos. It's kind of late already. I'm dirty. Still working. I got my own thing going on. But I decided not to go to college here in this country. Because, well, number one, I have a college degree already. And I want to share this with you. I was born in a place in which education is free. And you can go to college. And you can have any degree that you want. Therefore, doctors make $20 a month. How great is that? And the female doctors like to date. They like to date taxi drivers. Because guess what? There are not enough cars in that place. It's like 1 in 1,000 people have a car. And the ones that have it, they use it for like a private kind of taxi thing, and sometimes legally, sometimes illegally. And they make the bank. They make the money. Doctors don't make the money. You see? So don't fall for this college for all and all that, because that is not how things work. If you're not that smart, or if you don't have the money, you have to find ways. This beautiful free market and capitalism thing is the greatest engine of creation of wealth in the history of humanity. And there is a place for you here. You don't have to go to college to make the money so you can succeed. You can succeed doing so many things that are not college related. One of them is having your own business. Is it hard? It is. It's not as hard as working 50 years for a guy that don't give a dime about you. That would be harder. You see? And if you fail, good. You can try it again. You can do something different. If you fail, that means that you find, like Edison say, the one that invented the light bulb. I just find another way of not doing it. Eventually, you will go and you will find the right way to do whatever you're trying to do, and you will succeed at it. Even though you're failing, you're moving. And you're moving forward, even if it doesn't look like it. You are moving forward. You're learning things that you didn't learn, you didn't knew. While you were working your 9-to-5 little paper pushing bullshit job in your little artificially illuminated cubicle, something like that. You know things now that you didn't know. And you're moving forward and you're learning. You're ahead, even if you fail. You cannot froze. You have to keep moving, because it is a fight. You have to keep moving forward. Don't get afraid. Now, I'm not blind to the situation that for us young people, things are extremely hard right now, or extremely hard. Way harder than our parents, or even harder than our grandparents. And it's a very sad thing. I know that it's not a fail to launch, it's more like a nowhere to land kind of situation with us, young people, especially young men, especially young white men. I know you cannot have a house because, among other things, immigration and Chinese colonialism, financial or economical colonialism, have put out of reach having a home for most Americans. And that is very sad. That is true. I'm not blind to the situation that back in 2008, between government and corporations, they moved things around in a way that everybody got huge payments, huge amount of money. Everybody, even though they were the ones that created the whole thing, they got away with the money. They got away with murder. They got the money. They got the bonuses. They got everything that they needed, that they wanted. And all that burden was put on the little guy, you and I. I'm not blind to the fact. It is real. That happened. Prices have gone up like exponentially since that time. And part of that is because of that. I'm not blind to the fact that corporations are getting money for free nowadays. Money for nothing. While you're being crushed with 12, 15, 25, 30, 35% interest rate in your loans and credit cards and car loans and all that. I'm not blind to the fact. I don't want to sound too hard on your family. I don't want to sound too hard on your parents. I don't want to sound too hard on your grandparents, but they created this. They voted for programs and they voted for things that they knew were unsustainable. And now the government have to pay for them. And part of paying for it is taxing you to death. The other part is borrowing money and enslaving future generations, the unborn, slaving the unborn till the kingdom come, because that debt cannot be paid. And the other way of doing that, of keeping all these stupid programs that your almost dead grandma and grandpa have. I have grandpas and grandmas too, by the way. I'm not blind to the fact. I love them. But they know this. The other way they have to sustain this unsustainable situation is printing money, which the value is the value of the money. And now you are harvesting the results of all these policies, failed policies. You are harvesting the high taxation, because back in the days when they put these programs in practice or in place, there were like 10 workers. People used to have 5, 6 kids. There were like 6 to 10 workers per every retiree. So it was easy to keep people to keep paying retirement programs and pensions and Medicare and Social Security and all that, because there were enough people in the workforce that you could tax and you could pay for these things. Now, liberals have gone this idea that we don't want kids right now, because kids right now are extremely expensive. They cost money because, doctors and hospitals and they get sick and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And so many other things. So they don't want kids. And in order for people not to have kids, they have been implementing this ideal that housewives are like a second-class citizen or something like that. You should have your little, once again, little artificially illuminated cubicle with your bullshit paper pushing job, and go girl, and you can have it all. And be strong, independent, and don't depend on a man. And what that brings to women is cats, dildos, and antidepressants. And that is sad. And it brings low quality men. Because when women are sleeping around and you don't have to be a quality man to sleep around or to have a wife, then there is no point on you in being good. Because you can have it for free anyways, you see? Back in the days, you have to prove to be a quality man, a good provider, a stable provider, and this and that. So you could get a quality wife. But not anymore. Between the welfare state, which by design destroys the quality of women and destroys the quality of men, and all this government propaganda about women not having kids and don't worry about having kids and focus on your career and, all those nonsenses. And then, oh my gosh, it's too late for you. Now it's cats for you. You bet. Now they figured out this already. They say, well, if we're not having kids, then who is going to be working when all these people retire so we can collect taxes from them for all these new workers to sustain all these nonsense programs? And then they came up with the idea of immigration. But the problem with that is, number one, when you organically grow your population and you have kids, you have time, because kids take a minute to grow. So you have time to build the houses, and you have time to build the neighborhoods, and you have time to build the roads, and you have time to educate more doctors because your population is growing, and you have time to build hospitals, and you have time to blah, 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 blah. Well, when you import people overnight, boom, they just show up. There is no roads. But everybody needs a car. Maybe they have something to do with the traffic that you have in some places. Let's not say names. They know who they are already. And now you have to wait 3 hours to see a doctor if you go to emergency. Because, there are too many single mothers there with 3 or 4 or 5 kids on your dime, by the way, clogging the healthcare system. And now you need a house too. But guess what? There are too many people. And that tends to raise the price of things. Demand. Too much demand. You cannot build 3,000 houses in a day. But there are more than 3,000 people crossing the border. Go figure. These are simple things. I don't know. I'm not that intelligent, honestly. If anything, I'm kind of regular. I don't know. Average. 100, 120, maybe IQ. No, nothing like fucking ASCII nuts use or East Asians or something like that. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to know these very basic things. These are basic things. Nobody's teaching this in the school. Nobody's teaching this at college. And people are going through their lives and they are not paying attention, and they just, I don't know what they expect. And then they complain, hey, you know what? My life is not going the way I thought it was going to go. Seriously. No wonder why. I cannot have a house. I cannot get married. Obviously, I cannot have a kid. And, I'm terrified of divorce and alimony and child support in the case that you are a man. Because obviously it's kind of hard to find a quality woman right now that is not gonna take you to the cleaners. And then you have the low quality ones, which I don't know. Fat, single mothers, ugly, or a combination of the 3 of them. That is no good. Stay away from that. Why would you want to spend countless thousands of dollars raising the kids of some other man? At least you're into that. I'm not. I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you guys are understanding this. Once again, pretty basic things. You don't have to be extremely intelligent. Just average. Maybe 85. 85, 90 IQ, you can get this already. Demand goes hand in hand with the price of things. Too many people, it's kind of hard to get a house. Now, corporations love this because they don't care about. Corporations don't build roads. Government do. So let's say Ford Motor Company, they don't give a shit about bringing more people that are gonna buy Fords. Nissan doesn't care either. JP Morgan, beautiful, more credit cards. I mean, they just don't care. That is not their problem. But it is yours. This is your country. You have a saying. And who gets in and who stays. This is your house, your temple. You should be taking care of it. You see? And you should be first. If you're an American and you're not being given priority over anyone else, something is really wrong. And it's not with you. There is an election coming.